everyone, I'm Olivia.
And I'm Kyle.
And we're driving and vibing.
Today our video is all about driving across the USA in 4 days and how we did it 2 times in the last month.
Yep.
So just to give you a little insight, we did this trip to get to Maine for the holidays. It was the most logical way in our mind so we could travel with our dog and save money. We know everyone travels across the country for a different reason. We wouldn't recommend this for sightseeing, but it is a way to do it in 4 days.
Yep, and if you need to do it or have to do it for any reason, this is how we survived it and how we made the best of our trip. And we thought, these could be useful tips no matter what your road trip is going to be like or how long.
For sure. So we'll start with number 1, which is extremely important. That is research your route. Don't count on Google. Don't count on any of those places that going to dictate your route for you. Stare at an atlas for a while and just see which one calls your name.
Yep, it is always nice to have GPS and navigation apps help you along the way, but they do mislead you and guide you in the wrong direction sometimes. We know that on our trip we got routed right through New York City on accident, which was quite a hassle, and we were not prepared for that at all. So it always helps to kind of know your route before you actually get going, because you can end up in some places that you don't want to be.
Definitely. Tip number 2 is one of the most important ones, and that is pack fresh food.
Yeah, so we did really great on this on our first leg of the trip to Maine. I made tons of hummus, cut lots of fresh veggies and fruit. I made us wraps and all sorts of things to last us the 4 days to get to Maine, and we felt great and energized on that first part of the trip. But on the way back, we didn't take the time and preparation to do that on the way back, and we really felt it. The fast food and gas station food really does not give you the proper energy and nutrition you need while you're doing some of these long days, and so we wish we would have spent a little bit more time and done that also on our reverse trip.
And no matter what, you're going to be eating some of that nasty food. If you're doing 800 or 1,000 miles a day, that's just part of it. So eating fresh food makes you feel a little more human and less like a robot, or just, makes you feel a little better.
Yep, and saves money.
Definitely. So number 3 is one that is really important, I believe, maybe the most important for getting a good start, and that is wake up early and get moving before the sun rises.
It's a lot easier to drive in the dark when it's in the morning rather than at night when you're getting tired and worn down from a day on the road. So we would get those hours before the sunlight came out done in the morning, and then we would wrap up right around when the sun went down, so that we wouldn't be driving at the end of the day when we're really tired. And it makes you feel good to have a lot of miles behind you by the time lunchtime rolls around.
So let's see, what's number 4? This is an important one, I think. Don't speed.
Yes, we are firm believers in setting that cruise control and keeping a consistent pace. It's not about speeding to get anywhere, but staying consistent and, abiding by the rules of the road and being a responsible driver, basically.
Speeding takes a lot of energy. You're going to be constantly weaving in and out of traffic. If you can set cruise right around 71, 72, you can really find the rhythm of the interstate, and you can be a little more mindless, because not that you're not paying attention, but that you found the wave and you're riding it.
Yeah, just find your groove more so, and not have to be constantly changing lanes and worried about what everyone else around you is doing. You can just do what you're doing and stay focused and not let other people bother you. They can pass you right on by if they're in a rush to get somewhere, but you can do your own thing.
So number 5 is make sure you stop and stretch. It's very important, but don't do it too often.
Well, pretty much every potty break we needed, we would stretch really well. We would take the dog out, we would jog around a bit, let her go to the bathroom. It usually worked out really well. By the time we were starting to get achy and cramped up, it was about time for another restroom stop, or to get another drink or something like that. So it works out well, and just doing some stretches outside the car or anything. And if you don't mind looking silly, jogging around the parking lot a little bit.
Yeah, it helps if you have a dog. That way it looks like you're doing it for a reason. But either way, it doesn't matter. Get out, stretch. You're only going to see transient people you'll never see again in your life. So even if you look foolish, it doesn't matter. And one of our last tips for keeping your sanity while driving these long days to make it across the country is have a wide variety of entertainment.
Yeah, we downloaded some audiobooks, some podcasts. We had music playlists that we got set up. I brought a book. You know, there's so many ways to stay entertained, and don't forget, good old-fashioned conversation goes a long way too.
And not only conversation with each other, but if you have the Bluetooth capability inside your car, you can do the hands-free phone calls. And that's just a different way to stimulate your mind and to really pass up some time on the road.
And it was a great way to stay in touch with our family, let them know where we're at about, and mark our progress, and be able to, you know, it's fun to be able to talk to them and have a little break from each other.
Yeah. And one last thing that I didn't have written down here, but I just thought of, is that it was important for us to have a destination we wanted to get to each day before we started. So we had a goal in mind, and that goal would make us, you know, we would feel good when it was achieved.
Yep, we would decide how many miles we wanted to drive that day and found a good town along our route to stop, and we would go ahead and book the hotel so we knew exactly where we needed to get to by the end of that day, and it kept us on track. And it helped us stay motivated and have a destination in mind instead of just driving until we were tired, because then I think sometimes you can have some more wiggle room and you might just be a little irritable and say, oh, well, let's stop here, when you could have got a few more hours in. And
it gave us, you know, rather than just our final destination being the end goal, it gave us an end goal every single day. So we felt like we accomplished what we had planned.
We achieved a goal every day.
So those are our 7 tips for making it across the country in 4 days and maintaining your sanity. We maintained about 80% of our sanity, and we're still trying to get the 20% back.
Yep, and that was one of the biggest things, you know, whether you want to do this or have to do this, or hopefully you won't ever have to do this if you don't want to, but it was all about going into it with the right mindset, and I think because we were mentally prepared for it, it was easier for us to handle, and we just went into it with a good attitude and tried to have fun.
So hopefully these tips have helped you out in some way if you're about to do a long haul across the country, or if you just want a little insight of how we didn't lose our minds.
And so thank you guys so much for watching. Please give us a thumbs up, share with your friends if you thought it was helpful, and we'll see you next time.
Later on.